blasted everyone with the last YouTube video I was watching. That would have been annoying.
They're advertising Father Brown on your and now Shetland on your Twitch stream.
Well, it's
lots of interesting shows
regionally
on the
adjusted,
BBC.
so.
But I'm not in England. Why am I getting all the English shows?
That is a question for Amazon. I don't know what to tell you.
They're advertising BritBox. Okay.
Be quiet and drink your marmalade.
Not how marmalade works.
Yeah, I have some questions of what you think of marmalade.
Theoretically, you could. You might die in the process.
Right. I think so.
Enjoy your Vegemite.
That's not how England works.
That's not how England works.
Are
right.
you saying English
By the
people
transitive
love
property
of
of kings, I think it is.
No. I know every Australian on the planet who would disagree with you.
So on the back of that, hello everyone, I'm AD Stringer, also known as Corbinian. This is the Electric Metropolis video game tour, and today we're doing another episode of Star Trek Frontiers, where we follow the adventures of the USS Andromeda in the TOS era. And don't worry about the hats over there. That's normal. Don't think about it too much. I give it over to the GM.
I ask for the log.
How are the words log? Stardate 2875.9. The situation has not evolved in a manner that I would describe as favorable towards the goals of the Federation. The United Mining Company that runs this planet has abused its workers/citizens to the point where they have decided an armed, violent revolt would be safer than continuing to work. As part of this strike, they have kidnapped our Dr. Tweer and have stopped the delivery of the thalassite. I know not the specifics of the workers' grievances or their demands, but I believe that any Federation mediation can only happen after the Doctor has returned to us and the thalassite is handed over to the SS Endurance. Billions rely on that cure. It takes precedence before anything else. To make matters worse, this incident has driven the company's leadership into the arms of the Klingons, as House Sator has been contracted to act as strikebreakers. The best I could do was offer our services to negotiate with the workers of Site 5 where they are holding Tweer. This decision puts a pit in my stomach, but it's the only option left. You have 5 directives. Negotiate the sale and/or transfer of 100,000 tons of thalassite. Complete the research for the cure and conduct trials. Find out why the people of Kadorn don't want to join the Federation. Determine if the Klingons have violated the Treaty of Bamoth that ended the previous war. And impound any ships and arrest any individuals who have violated said treaty.
Oh.
Like flying through Federation space like they had to get here probably does.
I think shooting at us will qualify, but I don't know how we're going to detain the ship.
Stop! Oh, we'll say stop again.
You violated the law.
So, we open up as Commodore and her away team have left the elevators and journeyed into the mine to the last known location of Dr. Tweer. You're not there. As you walk in to a large cavern that's been outfitted with technical testing equipment that the doctor was supposed to utilize, you see several individuals standing around. One of them notices you and starts walking towards you and says, "Well, this is a good sign. We were not sure how successful you'd be in getting here.
I am Commodore Soloris of the United Federation of Planets. I am leading this team to hopefully negotiate for the return of my doctor. To whom do I have the pleasure of speaking to?
She sticks out her hand and she says, "The name is Hasna. And since you've actually shown up, I suppose we don't need to hold the doctor anymore. We can hand him over to you. Assuming you're able to provide the support you promised."
I look at the Commodore.
The Commodore blinks and says, I'm afraid I have never spoken to you before in my life. I do not know what you are referring to.
She says, "Is this like a espionage thing?"
Have you spoken with someone in Starfleet uniform before? Us, I mean. Other than the doctor?
They had Starfleet identification, yes.
Could you identify them for me, please? We might be able to trace up who they were, see what they were talking to you about. I actually like sling my rifle over my shoulder and like take out a pad to take down the name.
They provided credentials showing that they were a commander in Starfleet.
You get a name
Her
from
name
this
is
commander?
Sonia Beck.
Oh,
I put the pad
crap.
away. I regret to inform you
You've been had.
that there is no Commander Sonia Beck in service of Starfleet. That is a pseudonym for a Klingon operative.
She says, "Actually, I'll take persuasion here. So presence, security,
Oh.
difficulty 3. Oh, and like last week, this episode, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 6 of y'all.
You get to keep the body armor and phaser rifles that we
Yes.
spent all that. Okay, great.
Is a 4-thread episode because, well, there's a greater chance even than last week that you all die. Plus all the bad things from last week.
I am going to apply, if you don't mind me taking this, Captain, sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm going to apply extra effort, which will bring down the difficulty of the task by 1. However, once the task is completed, I will take stress equal to 3, because that's the difficulty of the task.
Okay.
That's my latest
So, do
talent.
you want a presence command assist?
Please.
Okay. You get a free reroll from that.
I'll throw you a threat for a die.
Yeah, you get at least one reroll.
I'll fish. Oh, good thing I did. Ow.
Gain 2 momentum. She says, And you're sure about this, that they're not your person?
While I was in security division, I was the one who helped capture her. And then strike an accord that she skedaddle out of Starfleet space and never come back. She may have been in Starfleet service once upon a time, but she is no longer. And if she were, I assure you the Commodore would have been read in. Given that we are here on a rather critical mission to save billions of lives.
Yes, she is an agent of the Klingon House Detour, and that house is currently here interfering in the mining company's politics.
She says, well, our entire effort here has been based on you supplying equipment and eventually bringing us into the Federation.
As much as any of us may sympathize with your plight, I could do no such things without express permission from people in the political structure of the Federation far above my own position.
Her hand kind of hovers over her disruptor, and she says, well, then I guess we're going to have to keep the doctor until that can be negotiated. You've put me in a place where I don't have any options.
Might I point something out to you about how the Federation works? In case you're wondering. Membership is for any member planet is given by virtue of the fact that you're all united as one planet under a democratic format. If there's an armed insurrection and civil dispute, we aren't permitted by our own charter to allow membership, for it will seem as if we are using our political power to force you to make a choice. We can't interfere. We're not allowed. All we can do is assure mediation and fair negotiation if both parties agree.
She says,
and I warn you, you point that disruptor at any Starfleet official, I'm putting a hole in you.
No, there's no need for language like that.
She says, well, I can't go back now because your Federation isn't what was promised to us.
Yeah.
There's no stop lever here. So the doctor's going to have to guarantee that you find a way.
Captain, aren't there provisions for anti-democratic minority holdouts in otherwise unified polities?
I make a reason or insight commands check to double check that. I don't know the answer there.
Actually, I could tell you the one thing I'm thinking meta-wise. You can just override the Prime Directive.
I was thinking that. I was also thinking of offering them as refugees and helping transfer them off the planet.
You
But
could, but your justification would have to tie into how this helps get the medicine to Kate. Because that's the only thing that's going to allow you to not get stripped of and your authority and sent to prison.
So the thing that Griffin is, well, the thing I'm pointing out through Griffin here is like, it looks like she's representing a majority of the population. And if that, like, leadership is at all democratically determined, they might vastly outnumber the people who are technically in charge of the company.
So we would need the captain to recognize them as a political body, and would have to confirm that they're democratic.
So
Yeah.
I'll give you an insight command difficulty 0 here.
Right.
Oh,
Focus in diplomacy.
Yes.
All right, I'm spending a momentum.
hey.
Woo!
So the thing that Soloris is very aware of is that the Federation doesn't do things in the blink of an eye. So there are minor exceptions that could be applicable, but they're not for you to determine. That's for an ambassador or a official provisional governor to rule on. So there's nothing legal you can do unless you're going to get a wink and a nod from the council, who want to accept what you've done without looking at it, right? You kind of have to hope that no one actually takes a second look and investigates. Because if it's actually like you have to do this by the process, the full process, you're not going to get that done in a day. And it's
So-
people much higher than you who have that authority.
So basically, it would be the only way this would work is if I forced it and then made the council accept it fait accompli.
Not so much, because kind of, but they would already have to want it. If they don't want it, it would be simple for them to tear it down.
It'd be shouted down at the council.
And then I would go to prison. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah. You would entirely be acting on the hope that
Mhm.
this is what the
They
Federation Council wants.
Well, I just generated a bunch of momentum. Can I ask the question, what do I think the Federation Council wants here?
No, you don't have any reasonable way to know the answer to that.
Okay. Then she's going to say, how many members of the workers do you believe your faction represents?
She says, well, some people are with us, some people aren't really involved, and then no one involved in security was going to come with us, so we didn't even try for them. But most people.
A number, an estimate, if it has to be an estimate.
More than half are willing to pick up a gun? A phaser, that is? A disruptor, she says. A disruptor.
Understood. Listen, I want you to know that the company's already has already contracted House Bemoth of the Klingon Empire to
Oh,
act as.
whoa.
Wrong
Oh,
house.
sorry.
That's not how.
Dator, excuse me. I mixed them up in my head. Has already contracted out to House Dator to act as violent strike breakers.
Don't bring Oda's granddaddy into this.
Excuse me, I apologize.
He's around.
So the best we can do for you is make the situation here a lot more equitable and diplomatic.
Yes, I would humbly ask you allow me to maintain a security team here of my 3 security officers to prevent, at the very least, this section from falling under the hands of the Klingons, because I hope you and I are both well aware that the Klingons will be much more brutal in this matter and less willing to negotiate than any member of Starfleet.
Because at least in mediation, there's a path we can work with. If we're cut out of this, then it becomes you versus the Klingons, and we don't want that right now. I don't think you do either.
She says, are those the people from your war?
Well,
They're
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, she motions for bu- 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 she motions for Ensign Kaufman to step forward, and she says, Ensign Kaufman is my chief of security. She's an officer in Starfleet and has served for some time, and the other 2 security officers under her are highly trained as well.
So Solaris thinks she was asking if these people have seen combat in a war.
No, Solaris thinks her question was just whether their competencies, and dodges the question by just saying they're competent.
Oh, she kind of looks confused for a second, and she says, "No, Klingons, they're from your war."
Griffin nods.
Oh, I see. The Klingon. You are not aware. The Klingons are the Klingons are a foreign power hostile to the Federation. They have killed many members of the Federation and are known for their brutality and subjugation of other races in the name of their own imperialist ends. If you do not if you believe us to be biased narrators, we can send down data tapes about their long history of conquest.
So why aren't you stopping them?
At present, we have a peace treaty with them, and unfortunately, this world does not enjoy federational protection or membership. So our involvement is limited by law. Unless we can prove a treaty breach on their end. Which unfortunately, the paymasters up top have decided to find the fastest way to solve the problem. It was only by sheer luck we were here that we were able to intervene in this situation. In your particular site. Even now, I'm sure your other sites are already engaged in conflict.
She says, and these Klingons are soldiers? Real soldiers?
Yes. House Dator saw much action during the war, and many of the warriors under their employ have seen combat before against opponents far more well trained and equipped than you.
She says, if we could figure out how you would be allowed to intervene, could you stop them?
I
Do
looked
not
at.
go making
Oh, God, sorry.
do not go making a martyr of yourself in the hopes that the Federation may come to save you. The terms of the treaty are specific, and as it stands currently, the planet of Kadorn is a sovereign, independent planet who's outside of Federation and Klingon control. If we had solid proof that the Klingon Empire was formulating annexation plans or other hostile takeover plans for the planet, we could intervene, but otherwise our hands are still tied.
Looking
But-
frustrated. Oh, go ahead.
But there is another way, Commodore.
Go ahead.
Apologies. I look at the person and I jot down on my pad my suggestion and hold it up to the Commodore. Basically, I say I'm silently telling you that we could offer them political asylum. At least this site, which that surrenders them into our care, and thus now they're under at least the Andromeda's care, and that saves these people, which buys us time to get diplomatic channels in. But notes that does put us at hard odds, and I'm not sure how well that'll go with the mission, unless we can
I
somehow.
don't think we
secure
could do that because I think if they accepted position as asylum seekers, they'd have to give up any political role in this, and I don't think they're willing to do that.
Yeah.
Then, somewhat frustrated, she'll say, "I think you misunderstand. I want to know if you can defeat them if that was an option. I know you think it's not an option, but could you defeat them if it's an option?"
The Klingons don't want a war any more than we do. The last war we went through was very costly for both sides and was very hard fought to stop. So
Loris is going to say something really dumb and is
Mm.
just going to say yes. It would be hard. It would be hard, and I would not. I would not want to do it, and it would cost many lives, and it would cause geopolitical chaos. But if push came to shove, I do believe the Federation would triumph against the Klingons in this system.
She says, "Then I feel like that resolves it. If you want your doctor back, that's what you'll do."
I believe we are at an impasse. If I'm not mistaken, then we are going to leave and think on what is foretold, and reconvene at a later point.
And
Captain, all due respect, I don't think there's going to be a later point if we don't do something.
mind yourself, specialist.
That's why
Sorry, sir.
it's okay. Specialist is why I'd like to leave a security team here. That way we can keep this section safe at least.
that is when she gets a signal, steps over to this console and says, "They've gotten behind us." She says, "Your doctor's not going to be alive for much longer." And
I'm in
they
danger.
start running.
I curse in Vulcan and start running after them.
Yeah. Solaris Solaris makes no efforts to hide a displeased face, and she says, "Follow them."
Ah. No, I'm just being a jerk. Don't mind me.
The scene changes.
No, our momentum. It's gone forever now.
And we have a lovely visual, if I do say so myself. And I do say so myself.
Okay. New medium mine, latinum mine, new colony, solid colony.
So those are just names for the sites because sites 1 through 10, so 1 through 20 was not helpful. So I
Okay.
renamed them. The important thing before I actually get back into what we're doing is everything here looks like is working like an extended consequence where the Klingon, the numbers on the Klingons are derived from their capacity as a fighting force and represents impact, and the blue is the ability of the workers or colonists to defend themselves and represents resistance. Filling back on any of these would mean that the Klingon. It's not both ways, so because this trait up here, Klingon incursion, everything is an extended consequence, not a extended task. So basically, there's no win scenario for the workers unless that trait somehow gets reduced. And then some of these may start acting like extended tasks where progress could be made. But yep, everything works like an extended consequence with resistance and impact.
So I don't know how an extended consequence works.
Yeah, that's
It's an extended task that is happening, is bad, and is happening despite you. Like it's not under the control of the players to interact with it, right? Like if you're trying to um, complete a dangerous mission and a star might explode, that could be an extended consequence, right? Because there's no feasible way you stop that process or you interact with that process, but it could change based on outside factors, how fast or slow it's moving, the progress is moving. So yeah, it's like an extended task that's automatically happening, if that makes sense.
So are we able to disrupt it at all or affect the?
We'd have to get rid
How
of
does that work?
the thing that's causing the consequence to happen in the first place.
You can reinforce the resistance, but to do that, you would have to be on the side of the colonists because they're the ones. Like you could increase the resistance by rearranging them or reinforcing them, but you can't do that yet because y'all aren't committed.
Mm.
But we actually, I probably went to this screen too early because I forgot. We could do this here.
Back to the ship. Bridge, one presumes.
So with a very sparse bridge, I don't know why, but anytime I pull Invernity's token on, they automatically have 3 status effects.
He's prepared. That's why.
They're not good.
I thought one of them's a science kit. That's good.
Okay. Lieutenant Vorov, who is taking up a place at science because there's nothing else there. Says, Lieutenant, I'm seeing Klingon warships on the scanner.
Can you tell me how many?
He adjusts and says, one cruiser has appeared next to the Klingon transport that was in orbit. And in far orbit, I see a Klingon fleet, another cruiser and three or four smaller cruisers in a protective ring.
And so you're saying was there one already here, or?
There was a transport already here, and a cruiser has now appeared next to it.
Okay.
And there is also a fleet of 5 ships
Right.
further out that has also appeared.
Now, if I'm not entirely certain, but moving military vessels to this system would require them going through Federation space, which would itself be a violation, correct? Or incorrect?
It would be.
Lovely. And given
Right.
the system is unaffiliated, it doesn't have any communication devices of which a communique could be quickly transmitted.
What do you mean?
The relays.
The subspace
But
relays.
the question
we
is
were
who
just-
who you're trying to talk to, because that determines
We'd
if you even
send
need
a
them.
signal to Starfleet to be like, hi.
The Klingons have committed an
Oh.
act of war. Would you like to hear more? You know.
It's
No,
not even like, hey,
because
we need a military response. Just, hey.
This is probably the last
no,
communique we'll get.
because the fleet has not yet finished replacing Relay 20. So you're in a gap. So it would take about 8 weeks to get a signal and a response.
Well,
You could spend a few days at warp and get that down to an instantaneous communication, but it would take a few days at warp.
but that's a few days.
We could send a screamer, sir.
We can.
A warp probe, or several, and a couple of with a message. Probably our best bet of getting the word out quickly.
I imagine a diplomatically worded message so that we're not outright advocating for a war. Don't get me wrong, I know what they've done here. But it's not, I believe, the time to start shooting immediately and making this instantly into something. Hopefully there is a way to avert it.
Then I would take, since this is short notice, a daring engineering assisted by daring communications. As
Which
you
is
try to do what?
con, correct?
Say that again.
Communications con?
What did I say?
You just said communications.
You said like daring communications.
Oh, sorry. No, I guess that would also be daring engineering.
Okay.
I was thinking the ship would assist with communications engineering.
Right.
Oh,
Okay, what's
Rivera,
my
that
diff?
What was that? Sorry.
What's my difficulty?
Oh, 2.
Okie dokie. Let's see. Don't think this is this a jury rigging thing or no?
No, it's just normally, right, the captain would tell you to launch a probe and you'd have like an hour or so to go and prepare one, but
Right. Okay.
you're trying to um, modify one on the fly.
Fair enough. What is my difficulty if I want to launch 2 in like different directions?
Uh,
Or salvo of them.
Yeah, because I
yeah, for
don't
a
want the Klingons
salvo,
to be able to shoot them
I'd put it
down.
up to 4 because you only have the ship only has 1 torpedo tube.
Okay. So innovative engineer for a free hit.
No, this is a well-known process. It's just time pressure.
You're mean.
I mean, there's innovations he can make to make that process way faster than normal.
It would be installing a second torpedo tube.
Mm.
Or making the Klingons wait.
Yes, utilize the airlock as a torpedo tube.
Violent decompression, all exterior hatches with a torpedo behind them. That's technically a torpedo tube.
Okay, so we're just gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way. Fortunately, we've got a whole bunch of Jomentum.
You're welcome.
So yes, thank you.
We'll try
So
to
I
have a
will
ship when you get here.
I will give you 5 Jomentum and 1 3-aught for bold engineering and a full mit.
Speaking Klingon, get him.
Don't suppose that the chief engineer superpower would kick in here since I'm pushing the ship
What
to
is it?
if I'm doing something that attempts to push the ship's capabilities beyond its normal limits, like rapid fire torpedoes, or in this
Yes,
case, probes.
I'd accept
Okay.
that.
Then I can spend an immediate to re-roll a d20 if I need to. So that gives me a couple possible re-rolls. I'm looking at diff 4. Got it. I think I'll fish. Okay.
And the assist?
Okay, is that the assist from me or could it be from someone else?
If you want to use crew support, it could be from someone else. But it does. This one, I will require an assist because someone has to write the message while he's doing this.
So you said it's daring engineering to write the message.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that you were having to not so much the wording, but actually encoding it and stuff, because communications generally falls towards engineering. But if you're not so worried about encryption or anything like that, and you're more focused about the content of the message, I could take presence command.
Yeah, I don't think we want to encode this at all. If the Klingons want to read it, they can. It's straight out just saying we're aware of your presence here. You shouldn't be here, and
Right,
for
and-
these no.
And broadcasting
Right,
it to anyone who could hear it. Because
Yeah, then I would accept that.
and
as
a
a
copy
present
of
command.
everything we've logged
Yeah.
so far about what's happening, and then a request for assistance for backup. Yeah.
To the only careful part of wording really is not saying, "Hey, we want a military response. We're at war." It's we want to have backup to appropriately respond to and handle the
Right.
situation
Right.
as you know.
Right.
That's the only careful part is not saying, "Yeah, let's kill them."
Yeah.
So sorry, what was the combination there for that?
Presence command, I think.
Presence
Presence
command.
command.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I'm on less than 3 hours sleep, so I'm doing my best. Unless mediation is appropriate, I don't believe I have a focus, and I can't even
No.
argue for mediation. Yeah, and it's just an assist anyway. So that. Look at that.
So 3 momentum gained, and a salvo of probes are launched, and after each one leaves the ship, it abruptly uses thrusters to align towards its trajectory and jump to work.
Do you know if they want
That's
to
about-
chase them, they can.
That's about all we can do there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, just broadcast
Uh,
generally from yourself as a ping, because someone's going to hear it over subspace radio the message over time.
We can, but we're also presuming that the screamers themselves are transmitting, so we don't
That's true. Yeah, you don't
necessarily need to at this point.
Yeah, the message is being said 3
like-
times.
Even if someone goes to slap us, the
Yeah.
message and gets all of the screamers, the message is still going to at some point reach its signal relay
Yeah.
and get where it's going.
That's true.
Roth says, I think the Klingons noticed that, Lieutenant, they're hailing us.
Oh, well. Put on your best faces then, and put them on screen.
Klingon appears on screen, and she says, Starfleet, I am Toth Vina Jodator, and you are violating our space. This planet has agreed to our protection. In accordance with all treaties, you will surrender your vessel and be extradited back to your planets in the Federation unless you leave within the hour. That is as gracious as I am willing to be.
While I would be willing to accept your word, my higher command will need proof that what you say is true. And I imagine there are signed treaties, documents, and other such things that you would be able to provide to display such.
She smiles with a deep grin and says, Yes, we are transmitting the authorization so that our treaties may be maintained. And Vrav kind of looks over it to indicate he's receiving a transmission. And then shortly after, he walks over to it with you.
And, look.
It insight command difficulty 2.
Rapid analysis.
By
virtue of the
is that a
faster I do
focus, a
this,
talent, or
It is a focus. Sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
There's a talent called
I just
that,
want
so.
to do this. Oh, there is?
It
Damn,
might
I
have been a
didn't
trait
realize
as well. I was
Sorry.
like, yeah.
Yes, all 3 at the same time.
If you really wanted to be good at one singular thing, and that's learning what's going on, then yes. But
yes.
then doing anything about that would be very difficult because you'd be pretty. You wouldn't have much left.
I'll be very good at what I'm good at, though.
I have determined the enemy is attacking us, and I do not have any talents, values, or focuses to do anything about that.
But I can tell you what the torpedo is made out of.
I have a very specific set of skills.
Oh boy, here we go.
Diff
yes,
2, you said, so I will.
I do.
I'll give you the 3, actually.
Oh yeah, Revere, you were Artana told you about it, but I don't know that you didn't actually see the document or anything. Artana just mentioned that they made an agreement.
And then handed it
Right.
to the captain who signed it and said, "Here we go. Let's arm up. You better head up to the ship." Like it wasn't a secret or anything.
No, the Commodore signed it, but she handed it back. Revere didn't take it with him.
Yeah, I'll position myself where I can speak softly to Inverni, and my back's to the screen, and go, I don't know the details of it, but the Commodore also signed an agreement with the head of the company.
I imagine there's a button we can press to just mute our microphones.
Yeah, it's probably a green light up button that is right under your palm.
Yes,
Yeah,
but it's
you
more
click-
dramatic to do things this way.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Oh no,
Think about
reading,
that's the
clearly,
cool thing
but-
about TOS command chairs. They don't look like they have any controls, but often the camera will zoom in and show you that you have 3 controls, one of which is a super specific control needed for this scene.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyway, we'll press that after
You
the
have
whisper.
fire, torpedoes, intercom, and
X.
mute the screen.
And jettison that poor guy from the warp nacelle. Apparently.
Yes.
That's what I'm referencing. Yeah.
So while he's reading, he'll just say, is this a separate agreement to what the Klingons are proposing here?
I look at
As
the
in a
agreement.
as in a suggestion that they're
gain
signing
2
two separate
momentum.
allegiances?
I would. I'll take either a momentum spend for obtain information, or Revere, if you assist on this task, I'll also take that to cover Revere also looking over it.
Yeah.
Okay, so is presence command is the role?
Yes. No, it was Insight Command.
Oh, insight.
Yeah. No, because you're not trying to.
I mean, it's still a
convince
10.
Yeah, you're
So-
trying to understand the thing, not talk
Yep.
to it.
I changed nothing.
I helped.
So
did
another
help.
momentum gain. Yeah, Revere. Of the 2 or 3 details Aratana mentioned, this tracks, but you never saw the document yourself. So
Mhm.
it's not blatantly a fabrication to you, but you don't have you never saw the full original document, so
And
it's a guess.
what is this document saying exactly?
Oh, so that the company is hiring the Klingons Dator to provide security for them from internal and external threats. It gets into a lot more specifics about where they're allowed to go, what areas are theirs, who kind of classifies as a threat, but it is a
It does seem to line up
is a
with what
contract.
the Commodore was discussing with the manager down below, but I didn't see the specifics of that. However, just because the Klingons have been hired by company security doesn't give them control of the system. The company still has that control. So I would
Yeah.
suggest that since we're here as customers, that it's up to the company to tell us whether or not we need to leave.
I would agree. And how reasonable or diplomatically sound do you think it is to question how they managed to get their ships through Federation space here in the first place? I rather doubt it was through shipping containers that were then assembled together here.
That would still be illegal.
Well, considering that one of them
It was
just
a joke. God.
well, considering that one of them just
Lol.
appeared out of nowhere, it appears they have some sort of stealth technology that we're not familiar with. But I don't know of any way that you can get here without going through Federation space.
So we have an agreement that doesn't actually sign away sovereignty nor control to the Klingons. It is
Right.
simply the usage of their forces in a policing manner, of which
Yep.
we are not subject to at this time until the company requests. I do have the suspicion that the company will request such if the Klingons threaten them, but it's a start.
Gives us some room and maybe ability to buy some time.
It does. Thank you, Revere. And he'll set the pad down and be like, and unmute. Joe Detour,
You
do
have,
forgive me, I never properly introduced myself. I am Lieutenant Inverni, and this
We've
is the
met.
OSS Andromeda.
and I
I
have
don't-
seen your ship.
Oh, I don't know. I've never met her before. My bad.
Oh, you may have not been here for those episodes, but
Yeah.
Inverni has met. Inverni has met her on at least 2 occasions, though maybe not for more than just a passing.
We're having the moment in Wrath of Khan. I never forget a face.
Well, okay,
Although-
he's never been the one in the chair talking to her, so he's
That
probably
is
never had
correct.
his name said.
Also, it's on the record now that she can't say, I never talked to him. I identified myself on your data tapes. Get bent.
Yep. And I do apologize, but reading through this, to my understanding, their sovereignty nor control of their government has been ceded to the Klingon Empire. You are here to act as enforcers, as they are legally obligated to, or they not legally obligated, as they have the legal freedom to request of you. And you have agreed to. That's fine. But that does not give you full imperial jurisdiction over the system. And it does not explain how your warships reached the system in the first place.
She says Klingon interstellar travel technology far exceeds what you are aware
Ah,
of. And then I will take a
out of here.
presence command opposed as the 2 of you are in your treaty specifics and each try to convince the other to relent.
But I think physics wins because...
It's like, regardless of the travel means is through Federation space.
Right.
However, like, I am a scientist. I can baffle you with my bullshit.
Like,
I don't
unless you
have
can-
that
You
time,
don't
unfortunately.
you don't know where all the wormholes are and where all the wormholes go to. She has a super secret wormhole.
Uh-huh. Yes, a super secret stealth wormhole. Even.
That's what he said.
Yeah, that lives in Canada.
Anyway,
It's right next to the teapot
Um,
floating around Sol. Anyway.
with this where mediation might actually be
Yes.
applicable. Because he's definitely playing the game of, no, I'm being cooperative, but I have to make sure that this is all lining up properly. I've got to
Nope.
do my duty, even if you disagree with the fact that my duty exists.
Wormhole totally exists. She goes to another school.
Opposed. Okay, Presence Command.
Who's
I've got a
defending?
decent score for this.
She's defending because you are the one trying to determine whether or not there's any legality, or she's the one. She feels like she has provided everything and all the proof, so she doesn't feel a need to talk about this. So
Mm-hmm.
that makes her the defender.
We're opening the dispute, as it were.
Let's see what she got.
Uh,
Come on, she could just roll 2 dice. A real Klingon would just roll 2 dice. She would roll
Now,
less,
I
but
don't
it's
know
against
her.
the rules.
Is she actually good at diplomacy?
oh, sorry, not this. I start with her personal threat.
Actually, I meant Present Command is also good for yelling at your men, so she's probably got a decent score. Oh, thank you for the threat.
Goodbye.
Oh, it just evaporated. It's all
Yeah,
of
the
Threat on table's
first
gone.
thing on the friggin' thing is
No!
all players.
Oh my.
And Winchester's probably further down than A as an all player, so it takes a bit to get to where he is.
I'm right after because.
Yeah, because the GM's right after. Yeah, you're right.
That was funny.
Creator is. Sorry.
So we will spend
Did you get a bonus for having a bigger hat? Oh wait, she doesn't have one in
3
the picture.
threat and use the focus intimidation.
Her head is not large enough.
It's not large enough.
Hey, I'm at the
Like
top
that
of
focus.
the admin list. That means I'm in charge.
No, you're the hat.
So the difficulty is 3.
You're
Oh,
at the top
wow.
of the
Okay.
admin list because we're in a single file line down a dungeon, and you're going to be the first one to step on the trap plate so that the rest of us don't die to the spike trap.
Can Revere assist by like, quote unquote, muttering audibly about, house
With
detour?
insight command.
Okay.
Wait, sorry. I may have cut you off there.
I was just going to have him mutter loudly something about like sad to see a house like Detour turn to sell swords for merchants.
Oh no, that's
That
definitely
helping.
present command. Sorry.
Okay.
And I
What was the insight
actually
command
feel like
thing
I
gonna
should
be?
have you assist her because I don't think that's what Inverni's going for. But you can't. I'll
do the insight command. And...
Okay. It's just the insight command was just like being able to give Inverni like details from the treaty to pick apart. But
yeah,
you definitely could try to get under her skin.
I know how to piss her off. I'm Italian, but that's not my intention.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I happen to realize that she has enough ships to just annihilate every atom of the ship.
I mean, Revere's already been blown up by Klingons once, so.
Was it your rapid analysis to help you figure that out, or informationist?
No, that was just intuition.
Ah, okay. Doesn't sound very scientific to trust intuition.
Oh, it's very scientific, actually.
Well, she didn't roll too hot, so we should be able to get her.
Yeah. So I'll spend the 3 momentum that we've got, and mediation focus, and so yeah.
Revere tries to belittle her house, and she talks about how pizza's the best Italian food, and you should always break spaghetti before you boil it.
Well, that's just wrong.
Thrifty.
Come on. Even on Kronos, they
It's
don't
very
do that.
distracting for Inverni.
Next, she'll say she boils her targ meat instead of.
Don't worry, you cook the targ, yeah.
2 momentum gained,
Or no,
and
Gok, yeah.
we move forward a scene as you stall for time.
Right.
Yep.
Hey,
hand gestures and everything. You can't forget that those are.
I taught a Vulcan matriarch feminism, so I can argue with a Klingon.
You yelled at her about it. Tot is a
strong word.
Yeah.
I taught the Borg Queen empathy.
Intersectional feminism at that.
Wouldn't that be more like mansplaining it at her?
I'm a cat.
Catsplaining.
Tom
Wow-splaining.
Even the Vulcans worship us as gods.
There's a joke here I'm not gonna make.
Yeah, I don't. I wouldn't. No, I know. No, please, no.
This is just Annie's communication right now.
If I get a letter from the Italian Anti-Defamation League, I'm going to be impressed that I have that much reach.
You probably won't unless you talk about Columbus Day.
It's not defamation to say that Italians talk with their hands as much as their mouths.
I mean, I didn't say that for the record. I'm just saying a certain person whose name lit up said that.
Carry on, GM.
Don't mind us. Where
We're
am
just
I?
silly little guys.
The GM calculates how much it takes to blow up the ship and finds out it's not much.
I already have the ships to do it. I don't need to buy anything.
You could buy our
I am
hearts.
looking up how much it costs to screw with you, but it's the particular method that we've only done once before, so I'm double checking that I'm doing it right.
Oh. We made too many jokes.
Oh no, don't feel bad.
Oh, I
My
don't.
goal tonight is to screw with you as much as possible. So
Oh.
what's gonna happen?
April Fool's Day, after all.
We're not just being the GM of any 2D20
See,
game.
now, Revere, that concept I heard earlier of using every external hatch on the ship with a torpedo behind it is intriguing to me. So if we surrender and the Klingon ships surround us, we can do that.
Hey, if you like
Impromptu.
that idea, I got a better one. It's
We'll call it the
it's called
porcupine.
ramming.
Mm.
Oh,
We ram with a charged torpedo in the tube.
Yes.
I can't believe you're going to engage in ramming without me.
That's
Listen,
a
we've
way
done
to
the
say
reading
something.
about the physics of ramming.
do I have to add another tag to the video or?
It's gonna.
Adults only.
Where's
No.
your mind going?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
We're talking about ships colliding. I don't know what you're
Yeah.
on about.
I mean, so am I.
Which, we've got the scientists and the engineer, so from both of
We
those
are on a-
perspectives, it's
Right.
We are
fascinating.
doing. We are doing so good.
Can we get back to the plot at hand?
Hey, this is what
Unlike-
happens. The GM looks up
Not with
stuff. We have to.
attitude, we can't.
The GM's looking up how we're going to die.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the flavor of death. I mean, you could just do boring old torpedoes, but you could do reversals, complications.
I hope it's dark cherry. I hope it's black cherry.
See, what we need is some environmental phenomenon that we can run away to, if necessary.
Ooh, or that we could create.
Oh, that's a
that we can
question. Did
create.
you guys actually take off from the planet, or you just still landed?
No, they're
don't
on
know.
the planet
Where we landed?
surface.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone didn't inform the
didn't know
Casio
that.
of that. I'm not gonna say who they were.
that wasn't in the, hey, Inverni, you need to be aware that this is the situation you're about to be in. The ship is also landed on the planet was not included in that briefing.
Not a terribly
Okay.
pertinent thing to know. I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah. We're flying into a cave. That's what we're doing.
Go to Dr. Tawir. You've just seen several Klingons you believe to be disguised as workers, including with surgical modifications. And they quickly dispatch the other workers, and they are starting to head towards you and the prisoners.
I was not given a. Was I actually given that screamer?
You were.
As these Klingons are. Can I get a read on them? What are their intentions?
Rotisserie.
Death, mayhem, destruction, bloodlust.
Cool,
Or death.
cool,
Roast.
cool. I'm pressing that screamer.
All right. I will have the away team put all your tokens down here.
No.
Because some of you like to do weird things that make your tokens not easily interactable.
Hey, mine work.
What does that mean?
So, question. Were we in this scene when the Klingons started doing things?
No. You're arriving
Darn it.
after the fact.
Because someone's no hesitations about probably about the fire if we're in a fight.
Yeah, I can't believe I've been robbed of no hesitation.
You're still starting an action scene. It's just you see the consequences of an earlier combat, right?
I shall-
Don't try and use facts and logic to make me feel better.
So, who could be said to have been running ahead? Because I know she was, and she was running with her people.
I definitely race straight after them for sure.
Same.
Yeah, Soloris will probably be near the back of this conga line because I don't think she is willing to, she is nominally a flag officer in Starfleet, so it's kind of a bad idea to be charging headlong into a firefight, like that.
Getting in my way. There.
Okay.
There.
I'll
Well-
grab Shishirin.
So hold on a second. So, what is the security team doing?
Well, they were directed
Um,
by the captain to go ahead, yeah, to start
Yeah,
following after.
Yeah, no, the security team was ordered to keep coming with us.
Okay. So the number of I heard that do both of you want to grab a character, or is it just Revere? Because it matters.
Are you talking about using up our
Oh.
ship support, crew support?
Yeah, it's same
Oh, I'll
same
chill.
crew
I'm
as
good.
always, but that's not the reason I'm asking. But that is important.
Is this going to be if we do a turn down here, we give up a turn when it comes back to us?
No, if you activate them, it costs me more to do something.
Oh, okay.
If you are in the scene as players,
Oh,
there's a
he's
greater
talking about
cost.
yeah. There's like reversals and stuff that count how many players are in a scene.
Yeah, not how many characters.
Yeah,
Okay,
you guys
yeah, I'll-
should probably just do it. We kind of need the support.
Yeah, I'll take Shishirin.
Sure. Okay. Who's
You got Kaufman and
Then you'll probably want to take Kaufman because she's the most
Sure.
developed.
Coral.
Coral?
Coral.
Okay, the number of players in the larger group then
Coral,
is
that kills people.
5, 6 because of Tweer. Is it? No, it's 5 because Tweer also counts.
And we've got type 3s and body armor.
Everybody has type 3s and body armor.
Okay.
Except me, I
As
have a
just-
force field.
Except you have a force field.
Yeah, I get it for you.
Well, no, I can't wear the body armor and a force field. And I was already walking around with it. It's like, well, don't spend for another armor because I've already spent for some.
As you run ahead, there is an explosion.
Oh.
Soloris as the one hanging back, as the only one hanging back, you find yourself on the other side of a collapsed tunnel.
Is that a hole in front of me or a collapse in front of me?
It's a collapse.
Okay, so there's regolith in the way. Okay.
Yes. We will handle you in a second. So, Eritana, you hear the crash behind you and turn to see no sign of the Commodore and a giant pile of rocks, but you also hear yelling and sounds of violence ahead. So
Can Soloris yell, "I'm okay, keep going"?
good.
Yeah, then Soloris yells, I am physically unharmed. Continue with your mission. I will find another way around.
We hear that.
You've
just
got
to make
root
sure.
access.
Yes, you hear that.
Good. Wanted to make sure.
Aratana is in command now.
Oh, sorry, Kaufman.
Uh,
in character if she wanted to be in command.
Decade.
She's been an ensign longer than everything.
Yeah.
She was an ensign when he was still in.
Yeah, well,
Negotiation 3
it's a
force incoming.
Dolores picked a favorite.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Hey, that's why you're trying to apologize. And he's like, oh, sorry about that.
Hasna yells murderers and starts shooting.